Hi, this is Tom Bailey covering development and real estate for the Commercial Appeal and starting a new video feature weekly called Developing Stories. Should be published every week about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. And this is the first installment, and this is not so much a building development, but the development of a new wall, fence, or gate that would be placed right where I turned at the southern end of Goodwin, where it intersects with Southern Avenue. The folks along Goodwin want to close off that end to prevent through traffic from cutting through their neighborhood. They say that what really makes it a problem here is you can see there are no sidewalks. And when they have little children or exercisers out wanting to walk, they say it's a danger because so many people are cutting through Goodwin, going from Southern to Central or from Central Avenue to Southern. Okay, now I've turned the car around and turning south from Central, going on Goodwin. I talked to one of the residents here just a while ago, a Dr. Thomas Fortner, who supports the idea of blocking off the south end of this street. He said that a couple of things. That one, that a lot of younger families are moving here and have younger children, and so there's some danger involved with the children walking in the street with no sidewalk. Also, he said there's been a spike in recent weeks in burglaries, the feeling is that closing off one end of the street to make it not as accessible would help cut down on crime. Dr. Fortner also said that a neighborhood meeting was held recently at the library in which some leaders of this movement said that they looked into actually constructing sidewalks along the street, but were told by the city that it cost maybe about $4.5 million, in part because of the drainage that would have to be accounted for and accommodated. You can see at the southern tip of the street is the entrance to the Memphis Country Club. Several of its holes border the east side of Goodwin. The proposal is to block off, actually to make private, the last 48 yards of Goodwin. So it would include the entrance to the Memphis Country Club all the way down to the right-of-way there with Southern. It would be property that the city would deed over to the Memphis Country Club, which is one of the applicants. Another applicant is a resident. So now we're headed north again on Goodwin, and you can see over to the east the golf course of the Memphis Country Club. These are high-dollar homes. Also talked to Ray Brown, who's an urban planner, a fairly progressive urban planner who's helped with zoning proposals and things like that. I talked to him this morning, and he was not familiar with the case, but he's generally reluctant to support the blocking off of streets in a major city like that. He said if you want cul-de-sacs, you should move to where cul-de-sacs are more accommodated in the suburbs. The idea of a city is to be knitted together by a network, a grid of open streets where there's a lot of ways to get from point A to point B. Okay, we're headed west on Southern. I'm going to turn onto Goodwin. This is a turn you would not be able to make if this proposal is approved. And these first 48 yards would be deeded over to the Memphis Country Club over to the right and closed off. You'll also notice here that here's a speed bump. There's a handful of speed bumps up and down Goodwin. It's a reflection of the problem that the residents here feel they've had. Dr. Fortner said that the speed bumps, which are not the severe speed bumps, they're the sort of the smooth bumps, he said that they really have not helped Okay, now I'm headed west on Central and turning south onto Haines, which is the next through street over westward from Goodwin. And as you can see, it's lined on both sides by sidewalks. And the question might be for residents along Haines would be, if the residents of Goodwin get their way and their street is blocked at one end to through traffic, will that send heavier traffic onto this street? Still headed south on, or headed north now on Goodwin. The application originally was, they were going to try to get it before the Land Use Control Board in November, but the application, planning officials tell me, was incomplete. So now the earliest it can be considered by the Land Use Control Board is in December.